Yes, of course. I saw his from preseason on. His attitude has been good. He's much more receptive to how we want him to play and what we want him to do. And he's been extremely hardworking in practice and had a lot of quality in practice. So it's one of those situations that he earned the right to start against Colorado.
What have you not had to do? What do you think has been the main reason for him being more receptive?
I think growing up, is part of it. He's still a young kid. Another year. When I say growing up, I mean another year of experience under his belt. I think that he knows that I'm not afraid to make changes. If somebody's showing something good, to get them in the lineup. And again, Boffo's young, but he's been in the league now for a couple of years. Time goes by quick. You have to make the most of it in every session that you have, every game you have. And am I sitting here saying that Boffo is our starter from now on? Not at all. Am I saying he's not? No. I'm saying it remains to be seen, that he earned the right to start in Colorado. He played well in Colorado, and now there's another opportunity this weekend for him along with 20-something other players.
You were talking just a week ago about you didn't want guys to just pass the ball to the next guy, see the whole field, bypass guys. Is that what you want? When you saw Beasler's pass to Corey Baird, is that what you were talking about?
I think when I was talking about that situation, that's not what I was talking about. That was a phenomenal ball, and that's something that we've been talking about as well. Opportunities, especially on the road at certain times of the game. That was a 16-year-old kid playing left back for Colorado, and he's a good kid. He's a quality kid, but he doesn't have the experience, yet, which he will get, and I think he's going to be a big player in this league. But we obviously targeted him in that game. Boffo had questionable 3 PKs against him, which I think the referees got all decisions right. And that was another instance of Corey recognizing Beasley has a little time on the ball, and he ran behind him. What I was more talking about, which I've seen a lot of in Cincinnati game, parts of the Portland game until they got really deep and really crunched, and a lot in the game against Colorado. I'm talking about more not side to side to side to side, more skipping and then being able to penetrate on the ground into guys like Albert, into guys like Dami, behind their midfield pressure that we could turn then and get forward. And in Colorado, the first 35 minutes, we saw a lot of that. And then in big parts of the second half, we saw a lot of it until they started throwing numbers forward and we had to get back a little bit. But I'm more talking about dangerous passes, not passing the ball just to get it off your foot. And it's too easy for defenses to adjust if it's short little passes side to side to side.
So like more of the direct route in some instances.
Controlled direct, on the ground to, again, like I said, to penetrate a midfield 4 that has to force them to turn around and run backwards, and now we're running at their back 4.
You mentioned Beasler in your answer. How has he grown since he was with the Monarchs to now?
Nick is such a professional player in his approach. He does his job in the most simplistic way, which in a player in his position is very important. He knows his role is to sit in front of there, look to break things up, and be an outlet, I guess you could say. For me in number 6, his most important job in the attack is supporting the play. If it goes out one side and there's no options, he's the link to get back and out the other side and shuffle 15 yards. Sometimes it's a boring job, sometimes it's a selfless job that doesn't really get noticed, but and Kyle does that very well. So for me, Nick does all the little simple things, and now he has experience that he doesn't get frazzled in games like that. He's been in big moments, and we know that if we have to go to him, we're very comfortable with it.
Toronto's a team that, they've scored a lot of goals, they've given up a lot of goals, but do you look at those first 3 games when they had a full team, when I think they went 3-0-0 to start the year, as opposed to the times where Josie was out for that month?
No, listen, I know Greg, the coach, very well. I know Robin, the assistant coach, very well. I know the style they like to play, and they have very good experienced players in the position. So to me, it doesn't matter who they have in it. They're going to play the same style, and they're very dangerous at it. So again, it's the balance between preparing for the team you're playing and preparing for how you want to play, no matter who you play. And that's what we're been more about last week and this week, as opposed to really concentrating on the team, how we could hurt them and how they're going to hurt us. No, this is how we want to play. Of course, we're still touching on the opposition.
Is a big part of this making sure the guys just stay dialed in. It still looks like there are moments where they shut down. The corner kick and the second goal come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, sports and games are about key moments, you know? And of course, the corner kick goal was a key moment, and the goal that they scored at the end of the half, which was a big in transition, you know, that we counted at least 2 times that we could have fouled to stop that play. We saw 1 or 2 times when instead of stepping to the ball in one of those moments, we could have just dropped, you know, and allowed that player but get organized behind. Again, you know, it's not, no team is perfect. They have those moments, but yeah, that's why we do video. We're always looking to learn from our mistakes, and you hope that it translates then to the following game and the following game.
Was it nice to see VAR work correctly and, you know, go in your favor a few times?
Yeah, it's tough for me to answer.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of VAR because I feel that there should be 0 chance that it's wrong. 0. You know, if you have the opportunity to look at something. And I said after the game, and I'll say it again, very rarely do I come on and it's not right, it's just, you know, who I am, and say something that I thought the referees did well. And I thought they handled the game well for both sides, you know, forget about the decision that we got, you know. So when it works good, yeah. When it works good, you're happy about it. When it doesn't, you want answers. That's human nature.
When you look at that Toronto side, this is and realize this is a group that's only like 2 years removed from the CONCACAF final and being the top of the league and all that. Do you think that just kind of speaks to how quickly this league can change, teams in this league can change, kind of the parity, I guess, involved, that sort of thing?
Yeah, but I mean, I look at it very differently than a casual supporter or fan looks at it, you know? Because they went through that rut after they won the MLS Cup, just because Atlanta has not started the way they ended last year, there's still quality. The games, I mean, for the most time, humans look at the result. That's what they look at. So the team stinks, or the coach stinks, or this. They don't look at the intricacies throughout the game. That, you know, and that's what my point is that it speaks more to the parity of this league, as far as there is not going to be a Man City in this league. Well, you never know. Maybe LAFC could be this year for the first time. But, you know, I can never imagine a team in this league the way we're set up, which I love, by the way, going undefeated throughout the year, you know, or losing 2 games or 1 game throughout the year. I could be proved wrong, like I said, this year or the future, but it's just the way the league's set up. And you know, we've talked about this before, through all the travel that teams have to do, through the 3-game weeks, you know, whereas there's 3-game weeks through all competitions in England, but you know, it's a 45-minute bus ride, or it's a stadium's a stone throw away from your stadium, you know, and the size of the squad is over there. You know, here I don't look at, like I said, to recap, I don't look at Toronto after they had that unbelievable run and the poor results they got. They were still a very good team, you know, and same with Atlanta this year. They're still a very good, dangerous team.
Are you surprised that they've lost such a quality attacking player and been able to go out and get another quality attacking player to replace him right away?
No, that's their setup. That's their what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I'm trying to say. Come on.
MO.
Yeah, I guess so. Method of operation. Perfect. Yep. That's how they're set up. You know, they lose 1 big player they spend a lot of money for, and then they go out and get another one. You know, same with LAFC, same with Atlanta, teams like that. That's how they're set up. So no, it doesn't surprise me at all. At all.
With these first 11 games, you know, having guys injured, you know, coming back from injury, and then the red card stuff that was happening before, how much have you guys just tried to figure out a way to kind of weather the storm and stay just in the hunt of that playoff spot until you guys are healthy and you've kind of figured out some of the kinks in your game that you're trying to figure out throughout the season?
We've faced injuries since I've been here, a lot of injuries. And again, I've said it before, that's why you don't have a squad of 11 players. You know, you have a squad of 20-something players, and you have to trust that those are the right players, that if you insert them, for instance, Nick Beasley, that you know what you're going to get and you can count on them. So it's just about, you know, guys being in tuned every week, whether they're playing or not, and waiting for their opportunity, and then making the most of their opportunity. It's as simple as that.